All right, so this is the last one. Um, so let's take a look at it in relationship to the other ones. It's quite a bit. It's slightly different. This first top part up here is very similar. It's kind of these two combined together. But let's take a look at it. So let me just go ahead and preview this stuff off. Okay. So we take a look, we have a slider down here, and instead of having two lines, so I'll just go ahead and preview all of this stuff on. Basically, it's the same kind of setup that I had before, right? The final one is this guy. Can actually probably get rid of one of these, but let me preview those guys off. The final one is this guy, and we get an interpolate between that one, and we can actually pull this guy down to 1, right, if we wanted to, and just have them set to there. If we change the steps, it pushes it out or brings it in, right? It's just slinging that guy out and in. So basically the interpolate goes between those two guys and makes a line. So we could just have a regular line, and if we wanted it want to look at the bottom one down here, this is slightly different. This is using a GraphMapper. So what it does is it has a range between 1 and 20 steps, and it creates a series of points in 3D space that we can then it creates a line that we can then construct points on. So for example, if I preview this, right, it's creating a sine curve on there, and if I adjust the range, right, of that sine, that number, right, it changes there, and then it creates a point, and then we can interpolate on that point where we get that particular line. All right, and so once we get to that point, let's go ahead and preview this off. Right, and I'll preview that off. So we just have the points. This gets reoriented. Whoops, sorry about that. This one, so this curve gets reoriented. So if we go to the preview, it gets reoriented to the outside of this circle on a point on the divide curve. So it basically gets a target from this curve and moves that over there, right? And then this interpolate, we get the endpoints from it, right? And then we reorient it as well, so preview, and we reorient it like that. Then we mirror it, right? And so now we've kind of got this guy going back the other way and this guy going forward. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and preview all of these guys off. Right? And where's that guy? Somewhere over here. Right? So get rid of that one. So basically we have this guy, and then what happens if we polar array that one and we polar array this one? Right? So, and we're polar arraying half of this one. You can see it's divided by half by 2 down here, so we only have half as many. And then what we do is we cull the pattern on this polar array, in the center, right? So we just cull it out. 0, 1. What if we did 1, 0? If it would be 1, 0. Right. What does that? Actually, we want 0, 1. Oops, sorry. 0, 1. Okay. And so we get the, oops, drive myself crazy. 0, 1. All right, so now we've got that guy. So let's go ahead and preview this guy's off, right? So now we have these two, and then what we do is we weave those two together. So if we go to preview, it's going to give us both of those, and if we do a list item, preview that, it'll go through, and if we list the item, ding, 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 it goes back and forth in between each one of those, right? So it just weaves those together, and then you can loft those. And then this guy right here actually takes this point and that point and draws a line between them. So it just gets the end point and draws a line. So if I preview that, you'll see it's sort of like a stay cable, right? And then the end parts, I'm just piping and making structure for it. So I'm deconstructing this loft. So this is what really crunches it. So if I enable this and I preview this, basically I'm making pipes, and then I'm coloring those pipes. So if I turn these previews off, I can come in, preview this guy on, and enable it, right? And I'm getting sort of a structure. And if you wanted to, you could pipe these little lines back here. But then, and this is going to crush my computer a little bit, so then you can go in and start to play around with that guy. Let's turn the the divisions down, maybe, right? So if we turn the divisions from 50 down to 22, that'll make it a little bit more usable. So you can start to sort of come in and start to play with like heights, right? This is controlling the height of that sine curve, so flattening it out and making it larger, right? And then again, we just did the divisions or the size, right, of the circle. So smaller where it gets really tiny, or much bigger where it opens up, kind of like a flower. And then the cull pattern, all that kind of stuff, that's just being generated from the rest of it. So that's about it. Okay.